What's up, Ragin Nation? How's it going? This is Alex Yu, and you're watching The Road to TF5. This is just Webster's. We're talking about Transformers 5. This is episode number 20. And as you guys already know, we are getting the Transformers Cinematic Universe. It's actually happening. I think it's something that a lot of fans have talked about for a very long time. They've discussed about the possibility of Transformers expanding beyond the current timeline and just going beyond that and getting perhaps a Bumblebee spin-off, an Optimus Prime spin-off, a prequel on Cybertron, or maybe a Hot Rod spin-off, or even a spin-off that talks about the villains. Alright? Well, we are going to be getting that. Maybe not in those specific examples I provided, but we are at least getting spin-offs along with the sequels. Alright, so that's very, very exciting. Essentially, this is the Transformers Cinematic Universe, much like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it is a creation, or rather a project, that is led by Academy Award-winning writer Akiva Goldsman, who put together a team of writers in this writer's room, and this team of writers includes Jeff Painter, who wrote The Amazing Spider-Man 2, Zach Penn, who wrote The Incredible Hulk. We have Walking Dead writer and creator Robert Kirkman. We also have I forgot the writing duo, but they're the guys who worked on Punisher Warzone. And also, in my previous update, I mentioned that Gabriel Ferrari, along with Andrew Barrer, who wrote the original script for Ant-Man, for Edgar Wright, well, they're working on the Transformers 1 prequel. It's a prequel that takes place on Cybertron, with the possibility it being either a live-action film or an animated feature. Well, now we have a new development, and that is, well, this new announcement actually came from Hasbro CEO Brian Goldner, and he was talking about, he was rather speaking at the City Global Consumer Conference, and what he mentioned was about the future of the Transformers films. And I'm going to read this quote for you guys, okay? So, he says, "As we go forward, we would imagine several more Transformers movies, not just in the current lineage, but also spin-offs and focusing in on key characters loved in the world over. Many of you know Bumblebee. He is a beloved character by kids all over the world. We could see stories told around Bumblebee and other characters." Now, this doesn't necessarily guarantee that we are getting a Bumblebee spin-off film, but he did mention it. And he mentioned Bumblebee as an example. The reason why he mentioned Bumblebee as an example is because him, along with Optimus Prime, are the two most recognized characters in the Autobots. Alright, and of course the Autobots are the characters that a lot of the fans, especially the kids, connect with first. So that's why he mentioned Bumblebee. And you know what? I think a Bumblebee spin-off film is totally something that could happen. Especially because Bumblebee did land on Earth before the Sam Witwicky story. Alright? Bumblebee actually has a lot of story and backstory, and a lot of possible stories that could be told that exists within what he's calling the current lineage of films. All right, I feel that a subplot or a spin-off story could exist within that timeline. It doesn't necessarily have to mean that it's a complete spin-off which is happening like in a parallel timeline or something. All right, I feel that it could actually exist within the current lineage, mainly because that, first of all, you have you could have it take place on Cybertron. You could have Bumblebee's story take place before he meets Sam Witwicky. You could even have a story, or have a Bumblebee spin-off story between Revenge of the Fallen and Transformers 1, or between Revenge of the Fallen and Dark of the Moon, or between Dark of the Moon and Age of Extinction. Okay? Or even something that takes place after Age of Extinction. I imagine that the best time to have a Bumblebee spin-off story is somewhere between Dark of the Moon and Age of Extinction, mainly because we can now answer the questions as to where did the Autobots go after the events of Dark of the Moon. Do we really need to see Shia LaBeouf's character in them in that story? No, I don't think so at all. Mainly because we can just show some kind of you know, like maybe narrative, like a narration where we talk about what happened to the to Chicago and how the humans feel about the Autobots, and then we could just have Bumblebee drive off and then continue stories and adventures from that point on. You know what I'm saying? There are a lot of possibilities for a Bumblebee story, and I think the most important thing at this point is trying to get Bumblebee to talk from this point on. I think it's important because we have seen him not talk for a very long time, and I think that if you really want to tell a story with Bumblebee, it's important that he's able to communicate, and not just by emoting through his eyes, okay? I know that's a very strong form of communication, but an even stronger form of communication would be to have him be able to talk, all right? So I think that would be good, and also that's necessary if we are going to have a Bumblebee spin-off film. And I like the idea of a Bumblebee spin-off film taking place either before the first Transformers film, where, you know, before he meets Shia LaBeouf, or rather Sam Witwicky, and he's the old Camaro, or have a spin-off story take place between the events of Dark of the Moon and Age of Extinction. I would love to see that. I would like to see how Bumblebee goes from a 2014 Camaro to his you know, the older 1967 Camaro SS. All right, I would love to see that transition. I would like to see that as a piece of character development. All right, why did this take place? You know, I would like to see the part where he goes into hiding. You know what I'm saying? I'd like to see the part where he is driving at full speed, trying to avoid you know, that team of humans that are hunting him down. All right, I want to see him try to get away from Decepticons that are still around the world. All right, that haven't been killed off. You know, I want to see those stories. So I think a Bumblebee spinoff is a great idea. And although they could have it take place, you know, somewhere outside of the current lineage, as Brian Goldner says, I still think that before Transformers 1 or after Dark of the Moon is a great time to have a Bumblebee spinoff. All right, what do you guys think about that? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Oh, also, let me know about where you want to see a Bumblebee story take place. Like, you know, would you want to see it in Cybertron? Or would you want to see a completely different story that is outside of the current timeline, all right? I mean, there's so many things and stories that could be talked about. And Bumblebee does have a lot of backstory, so you know what? There's a lot of source material we can draw from, all right? And also, why don't you guys talk about what other spin-off films would you like to see? All right, there's a lot of characters we could spin off from. Ultra Magnus, Hot Rod. Okay, we could even see a Decepticon spin-off. So who would you want to see get their own spin-off film? It could happen, and now's the opportunity for it to happen. It's something that couldn't happen before, but now, for fans, this is a great time. Because we will be seeing something very, very different. And it's not going to be directed by Michael Bay. It's not going to be written by Aaron Kruger. We're getting a team of better writers, okay? And we're also going to be getting the vision of someone, a director who is not Michael Bay. So this is a time for a lot of the fans who did not like, you know, the previous films to have that moment. This is your moment, okay? And we are going to be getting films that you could possibly enjoy. So there you have it. That's all I got to say in this video. So once again, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like me on Facebook, The Ragin Nation. Also follow me on Twitter, @RaginNation. My name's Alex Yu. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace. These two writers, Andrew Barr and Zach Penn, writer of The Incredible Hulk, work on this movie. I think that we do have someone who